Follow the money is a common American phrase. It sums up the explanation as to why we no longer get the highest quality food, why people produce pornography and deal drugs, why our politicians accept bribes. Ever wonder how someone goes to Washington, D.C. broke and emerges so wealthy on a government salary? And we're not allowed to question it. Why is our border porous? You know, so-called charities make literal fortunes by opening the border and caring for the immigrants. And human traffickers, often drug cartels, make fortunes providing passage to and into the United States. Why do we have dozens of new vaccines? Is it solely science, or is there a huge money component? Name a problem we're facing and then think about the role of money. Here's a question. Why did both President Trump and President Biden spend a combined $11 billion campaigning in the year 2020 for a job that pays $400,000 a year? You know they're going to pay even more in 2024. The truth is that money is what drives America, and that is how we have lost our way. Take the war in Ukraine. We're told it's about stopping the next Hitler. Maybe that's right. But did you know, according to the Washington Post, Ukraine's aid's best kept secret, most of the money stays in the USA. Here's a quote. Of the $68 billion in military and related assistance that Congress has approved since Russia invaded Ukraine, almost 90% is going to Americans, one analysis found. Now that may be okay. We want to be the suppliers of arms. We want to be the best at it and so forth. But remember the Eisenhower warning. And if you raise questions about Ukraine, you're silenced or you're labeled a Nazi. Why? It's all about the money. But here's the problem. We've lost our first love as a nation. Our first love was that of liberty. You know the quote I gave you from supposedly de Tocqueville? It wasn't from him, but it was about the goodness of America is what created the greatness of America. Well, how good is it when you're money grubbing? You know, we're the wealthiest nation in the history of the world, but we have a reported national debt of $34 trillion. Now in the Bible, in Deuteronomy, it's a book in the Old Testament, chapter 28, it describes nations that are under a blessing and nations that are under a curse. The blessing, that's when you follow after God, that you take care of your neighbors and, the love things, doing the things that are in the Ten Commandments and being obedient to God. Well, what you get when you're a nation under blessing is you're able to lend to many nations, but borrow from none. That's a nation under blessing. You have peace. You don't have plagues. There's holiness in the land. There's general and widespread prosperity. It's not just for the elite, but everybody prospers and succeeds in a nation under blessing. Is that happening in America today? I don't think so. How about a nation under curse? Well, a nation under curse suffers continual war, plagues. They're plundered from without. There's debt, massive debt, and you can't repay it. There's misery. And here's a quote. It says, "The alien who lives among you will rise higher and higher while the citizens fall lower and lower. And other nations invade you and take your stuff." Now, which of these are we seeing happening in America today? All of them. Isn't it obvious what's happened? America has ceased to be good, and therefore we are no longer great. Yeah, we're the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. We're also the most in debt of any nation in the history of the world.